After completing the hardest Cuphead mod ever made, I decided I would relax a little bit, just do some easy challenges for videos and not stress myself out too much. Until the creator of the mod subscribed to my channel, which is obviously him challenging me to play the other super difficult mod that he made, but on the DLC this time. So, here is me playing the Cuphead DLC on Cuphead Geomod. Real quick, Geomod is basically a difficulty mod that makes the game way harder and changes some of the weapons and charms. Here are all the changes on screen if you want to read them. I'm not going to go over them, only the ones that apply. And for anyone wondering why I'm not doing the DLC on Master Quest mode, it's because it doesn't exist for the DLC. The only difficulty mod for the DLC is Geomod because Master Quest is only compatible with the Legacy edition of the game. So, without further ado, let's do the Geomod. Starting off is going to be Glumstone Giant. For him, we use the Roundabout, which got a little damage nerf, and the Crack Shot. Mainly use the Crack Shot in this boss. Obviously, we use Miss Chalice and Super 2, which were both unchanged. The sad thing about Geomod is that bosses either have a lot changed or not so much changed, and Glumstone falls into that second category, at least for his first phase. His second phase is the one that I consider to be the hardest of the three phases, but I went a little bit crazy here. I genuinely think that the 40 plus hours on Cuphead Master Quest has made me an all-around better Cuphead player, because I would have never been able to do this before. After we beat the second phase, we go inside Glumstone for his final phase, and it's similar enough to Expert mode, except for the fact that there's more dudes shooting things at us, and some of the meat that Glumstone spits out is parryable. But with the Crack Shot melting his HP, he quickly falls. Almost a Geomod S rank is nuts. I don't expect this to take that long. It's definitely a possibly one thing stream. Mortimer Freeze actually gave me a little bit of trouble. His first phase was simple with Chalice and just using the Crack Shot to consistently damage him. Sometimes his snow minions would hit me, but other than that, it's really easy. His second phase gets a lot more extreme, where on top of his highly increased speeds, he has double popsicles and his fridge attack always has a big, medium, and small ice cube coming out of it. And these ice cubes have way better tracking, so they're always landing on top of you. With a surprise to no one, the last phase does not get any easier. While still using the Crack Shot to carry us, we deal as much damage as we can while still being conscious of all of his other attacks. The hardest of which being the bucket attack and the I-beam attack, but he falls just like Glumstone Giant, and it's easy. Also, another thing I want to point out is that Geomod changes some S-rank requirements to make it harder, so I thought I had the S-rank here, really didn't. Because there's no way he's not. Oh! We just S-ranked! We just S-ranked! Did I parry enough? I don't think I parried enough. Did I parry 6 times? I don't know if I parried 6 times. No, you have to parry 5 times. Bro. Please. The secret boss is easy as always, and I'm pretty sure we actually first tried him. But here was a turning point for me. While the bosses haven't been overly difficult, some of them still give me a little bit of trouble, and the main reason for that is the low damage output that I had. I used the Crack Shot because in the base game it's a really good shot, and it had no nerfs or buffs to it, so I figured it'd be solid in Geomod. But that's the thing about Geomod, it buffs some weapons too. The Chaser, a normally bad shot, got buffed to deal 0.5 more damage, which can really add up considering how fast it shoots. So from now on, we almost always use the Chaser whenever we can. Okay, there we go. Chaser did good. Howling Aces isn't brutal. I gotta say, the hardest part has to be the first phase, and I really don't know why. It's not even that the mod made it more difficult or even changed it that much. I just couldn't handle the first phase for some reason. The mod made it so the dog on top throws his tennis balls a lot faster, and that's about it for the changes of the first phase. Second phase is the same as always. Maybe there's more letters on the screen or the dogs are spinning faster, but it doesn't matter because you honestly cannot tell. Final phase, we use the converge shot on her, and then we use the head tilt method to basically make this boss on easy mode and just claim another victory. Oh, I know it's... That's the S rank! That's the S rank! Redemption! Redemption! Oh my god, we're so good! We are so good! 3 minutes. Full HP, full parries, full supers, full skill. That's the S rank. We're S ranking everything. This is easy. This is easy. This is easy. For Esther Winchester, we actually changed our loadout, which is very rare for us. Because I don't really like the Miss Chalice playing that much, so instead of using the Astral Cookie, we end up using the Heart Ring. It's important to note that the Heart Ring in Geo mode is changed so you can get the extra HP on parries 3, 6, and 9 versus 1, 3, and 6 that is in the base game. So we go for a lot more parries. First phase isn't anything special. I found that Esther switched floors on the saloon a lot faster, but that was about it. Second phase has a super clear speed increase compared to normal, and the safes fall way quicker. On top of this, the gold and money bags that shoot out have immense speed to them, so it's a really difficult phase. It is super easy to get hit if you just stop moving for half a second. Third phase has a lot going on, but if you know what you're doing, you're gonna be fine. We parry almost every piece of meat that we can, and we just spray him, keeping mindful of all the other things that could hurt us. Her fourth phase has her line of sausages moving up and down so much quicker than normal. We get close and use supers, but that's really all that we can do that's special here. We do our best to avoid any attacks, and you know, we just do good. That and then responded to myself. Am I the best to do it? Am I genuinely the best to do it? Holy cow. The Moonshine Mob is by no means an easy fight in Geomod. All of the possible summons that the main guy can do happen so much faster, to the point where there is almost always something happening on screen. We run around with the chaser doing the best we can to not get hit while still dealing ample damage. The second phase is made a lot harder by the fact that minions can now spawn on the second floor, because as anyone who's done this boss knows, that you can just sit in the second floor and use the invisibility roll to dodge everything, but we can't do that anymore because of the minions. So instead we stay at the bottom with chaser and just whittle the health down slowly. Something nice about this phase is that you know that it's almost done because the music rays are spinning faster and faster. The third phase isn't changed outside of the fact that it's just faster. Using the chaser, I found it easier to stay on the side where he was poking his tongue, because even though it was risky, it just made more sense to me to deal that higher damage. The final phase you genuinely can't make a mistake on because it's so easy, and we can finally move on to our final boss. Holy schmoly, Chef Saltbaker was not easy. This boss took over an hour, which is pretty average for a challenge run, but most of, if not all of the bosses took around 20 or 30 minutes, so it's a lot. His first phase doesn't have much change, just an extra fireball on top, and it all happens a lot faster, but don't think that it's easy by any stretch. Arguably, and probably the hardest part of Saltbaker is his fireballs on screen. So adding another one makes it super hard. And Saltbaker is already a really fast boss. The first phase can just be summed up as a complete bullet hell. So now imagine it at 1.5 speed that's normally at. Phase 2, thankfully, gets rid of the bonus fireball, but it doesn't get easier. I didn't imagine that making the pepper sneezes happen more often would make the boss more difficult, but it really does. Third phase has probably the coolest change because everyone knows that the hardest part of the third phase is just his initial fall down. So how do you make the phase harder? You just make him fall down more often. You can fall down twice or even up to 3 times on this phase depending on how much damage you're dealing. Final phase isn't terrible with the chaser, but it's still tense because the platforms go down a lot faster and the heart moves quicker. But eventually we beat it. We officially beat the hardest Cuphead DLC mod. Big shout out again to GOTGM, he made the mod, and he'll be linked to go if you want to go check him out. Anyway, please like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks, goodbye.